Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Dipen Prajapati, and I'm one of the migration agent here at Aussizz Group Dispensary office. Uh, as you know, that Aussizz Group is conducting this live question answer session on every Friday. So this Friday, I will be answering all of your questions. So guys, make sure you have your questions ready. And another thing that whenever you ask a question, make sure you try to provide as much details as you can. The reason being, sometimes client just leave one word or two lines and say, "What are my options?" So that become difficult for us as well to answer your query. We want to help you out in as much as the best manner we can, and that is the reason of today's live session. And we'll be answering questions one by one. Let's wait for the questions from the students or applicants. Okay, so we got a first question from Reet Khaira. What is the processing time for TR extension? So at the moment, like a department is processing TR applications and TR extension visas around 4 to 6 months of time, but that can be further, reduced or extend depending upon what are the documents you have provided or you haven't submitted your enough documentation that can extend your, processing time. But on an average processing time, I would say around 4 to 6 months. And the most important thing I would recommend all of my clients and including you as well, if you want to reduce the processing time of any visa application, not only TR, but any other visa application, make sure you provide a sufficient and recommended documentations to IMI account whenever you lodge your application. Or if sometime it happens that you are waiting for some of the documentations which is not available at the time of application, for example, police clearance certificate from overseas. So in that case, whenever you receive the documentation, try to upload that as soon as possible, because sometime when case officer is assigned on early basis rather than normal processing time, and they can request you for additional documentation, which can further increase the processing time of your application. So make sure you provide all the sufficient documentations and wait for your TR extension. Okay. Okay, we are waiting for a few more questions from the clients. So guys, I mean, we have done like few live sessions even yesterday as well, and about different courses of what you can do in Australia while you are on a student visa, which can help you to achieve the permanent residency. A lot of people nowadays are, mainly inquiring about to us that when there will be an invitation round, skill migration visas, and all of that. But just want to let you know, guys, that if you are aware about quota of this financial year, specifically in state nomination, we have seen that Queensland state nomination quota has been reduced dramatically, and it's very low quota compared to in last 4 to 5 years of time when we used to get approximately 2,000 and 3,000 seats. But this year they have only reduced to 1,200 places, and that can be a problem for all the students or an applicants who are applying their state nomination from Queensland this year. Uh, Obviously, there are a less quota, which means that we are hope we are believe that the state nomination criteria will be tougher this financial year for specifically Queensland state, as they just want to select only a good applications with good points, and if they are working in building and construction industries, that is their one of the priority industry. It does not mean that if you are working in any other industry, you cannot expect invitation, but priority would be given definitely to those applicants who are working in building and construction industries. Okay, so we got another question from Mr. Northbound Yards. Well, I'm not sure whether is their original ID or not, but the question is our 482 is already lodged while waiting for the skill assessment result. My question is, what if we got negative result and the visa will be refused? Can we still lodge again for another 482 once we pass the skill assessment for the second time? So definitely you can apply another 482 visa if the nomination period is still valid. Uh, I would say recommendation is if you are applying and if your skill assessment is finalized, which is in the negative, in that situation, I would recommend you, instead of waiting for the refusal, you can withdraw the application if you have any substantive visa and get the skill assessment done and then apply again for the visa application. If not, you can apply your skill assessment first, get the positive outcome, and wait for the nomination to be approved as well. Here, you did not mention that about do you have a bridging visa or a substantive visa. So I believe that you have a substantive visa, which means you can still apply for the new visa application if the nomination is approved. But if you are on a bridging visa, make sure you check the Section 48 conditions, which can stop you lodging a onshore visa applications. So as I mentioned, guys, like whenever you ask any question, try to include more details about your situations specifically, so I can be precise in giving the answer in terms of your query. So until we get few more questions, I was discussing about earlier that state nomination quota. So as I mentioned that most of the state have received a higher quota in this financial year, and only Queensland state has missed out. So that was an unfortunate situation for all the candidates who were, a little bit disappointed. And a lot of students are moving to Perth in this financial year. But here I just want to make sure that do not move blindly because your friend has moved to Perth or your friend has moved to any other state. Everyone's situation is different. So do your homework, do your research before moving to any state. Check the applicant, like your eligibility of applying for the state nomination. Wherever you are moving, look for the employment opportunities, because employment is something that can help you to achieve other visa options as well, apart from the general skill migration visas. Well, okay. Okay, so we got another one of this question from Mr. Daniel. He has already asked this question earlier to our team that they have done their CAPS assessment, and can you tell me point and experience are required for lodging the EOI or any other alternative pathways for sponsorship? So Daniel, that if you have done your CAPS assessment and if you have a skill assessment ready, you required minimum 65 points in order to apply your expression of interest. Now that 65 points can be your own 65 or with the help of state government. So if you are targeting for subclass 190, you will receive 5 additional points from the state government. And if you are applying for your EOI for subclass 491, you will be getting additional 15 points from the state government. So depending upon what category you are eligible for, you will get points. However, I would say 65 point is not a sufficient in today's time to receive an invitation. I mean, it's okay to lodge your expression of interest, but it's not a practical that you are waiting at 65 points and hoping that you'll receive an invitation. So always recommended to increase your point in your best manner, whatever you can do. Try for maximum score in English, do NATE examination. If you have an option to study in a regional area, study in regional area to increase points. Uh, if you are single, then there's a no issue. But if you have a partner, try to get at least 6 band each from your partner so you can claim 5 points. And whatever options are available, just make sure you achieve that and increase your point. But definitely, you are eligible to apply for independent visa along with state sponsor, along with the employer sponsored visa as well. But here you have not mentioned about the number of years of experience you have that makes you eligible to apply for the sponsor visa. So I'll give you a brief overview about there are different type of employer sponsored visas, which includes 407 visa, 482 visa, 494 visa, and subclass 186 visa. All these visas have a different requirement. So right now for 407 visa, if you have just 1 year of work experience in last 24 months of time or equivalent part-time, or even if you have completed your study within that 24 months of period, and if you have an employer in your nominated occupation or the area where you have completed your study, you can be eligible to apply for a training visa, which is valid from 1 year to 2 years of time, depending upon what type of training you are getting from your employer. So that is one of the best options if you do not have a much experience, or if you are early stage in your career or wants to improve your skills. Another visa option I would say that 482 visa, which is known as the TSS as well, one of the most common visa pathway for overseas worker to work in Australia. Basic requirement is that applicant must have a minimum 2 years of work experience. That can be 2 years full-time or equivalent part-time experience within last 5 years of time. This 2 years of work requirement is going to change to 1 year only from 23rd of November 2024 onwards. So, which means that if you have an employer ready to sponsor you, you can process the business applications from now onwards. And after 23rd of November, if you have just 1 year of experience, you can apply for a 482 visa, and you will get that visa from 1 year up to 4 years of time, depending upon your occupation. And also it will leads you toward permanent residency. Another visa would be a 186 visa that required 3 years of work experience plus a skill assessment in your nominated occupation. There is a separate list for 186 visa under a direct entry stream. So that occupation list is mainly for long-term occupations. So if any of your occupation falls under that category, you will be eligible to apply 186 visa directly. Last visa option is 494, pretty much similar to 186, but the condition is that the employer location must be in regional area. And again, there is a different occupation list for 494 visa as well. Depending upon your occupation, you can choose either 186 or 494 visa options. Both can lead to a permanent residency. So, guys, just want to let you know that as we are still waiting for a few more questions. So if you have any question, you can ask me directly here in a comment box. And also, like, if you have any query in regards to any permanent residency visa, or even a student visa, even any other thing related to immigration or a student visa, you can always contact your nearest Aussizz Group office. We have a branch in almost every state in Australia as well as overseas. So just contact nearest Aussizz office for getting any type of support in relation to migration to Australia or even study in Australia. Okay, so okay, we got another question from Reed Kera. Chances for 190 South Australia Motor Mechanics 75 point with state nomination. here I would say your points are good for the mechanic occupation, and you can always expect invitation with 75 points from South Australia, considering that this year they have a very huge quota of 3,000 for 190 visas. However, we need to see the criteria of South Australian state government for this financial, which is not published yet. So here I would say you have a very good chances. Also recommended to lodge EOI for 189 subclass as well. In this financial, we are expecting that a department will conduct invitation round for 189, maybe 3 to 4 invitation round they will conduct during the entire financial year, and chances are very good that you can expect invitation in 189 as well as 190 from South Australia. So I guess there are not many questions in today. Looks like everyone is in a Friday mood. So that is fine. Here I will wrap up this session today. And as I mentioned that you can contact us. I'm based in Brisbane City office, and we have offices all across Australia. So get in touch with your nearest Aussizz office in terms of getting any type of assistance toward Australian migration. Thank you very much, guys.